Hello, lovely Librans. How are you all? Thank you for tuning in and listening to me. My name is Rose Smith and I'm here to do your July 2019 horoscope. Well, what a big month it is for everybody, in fact, even Librans, although, and I'm a Libran myself, although we're not sort of directly affected by some of these influences as some other signs. So we have two eclipses. On the 2nd is a partial solar eclipse, and on the 16th is a lunar eclipse. And although they're not in Libra, we still get it, we still get knocked about sometimes. So the new moons are in Cancer and Leo. The eclipses are in, can't even read my writing, Cancer and Leo. Yeah, I can't even read what I've written. Isn't that amazing? Looks like Cancer and Capricorn. But anyway, and then we have Mercury retrograde in Leo and Cancer. So we're not directly affected in the way that other signs are. But look, I know myself, every time Mercury goes retrograde, it really does affect me in a major way. So let's go through and see in further detail what's going to happen. So the 2nd is a solar eclipse. Now, it'll be the 3rd if you're in Australia or New Zealand, but in the majority of the world, it's the 2nd of the month. It's a partial solar eclipse, and it's in our 11th house. 11th house is all about groups, friendships, networking, and it's also the house of hopes and dreams. So a solar eclipse is all about new beginnings. And in the house of hopes and dreams, these might be the things that really touch our hearts, our truest desires, things that we've wanted to do, but we haven't been able to. We've been blocked, or it hasn't been the right time, or some reason that we haven't done them. Okay, so there are new starts in these areas. And, these might be things we've been sitting on for years and years and years, and they're just like, yeah, one day I want to learn to play piano or something like that, but we never actually make a start. But during the month of July, we'll be sort of sitting back because it is a time for quiet time, for self-reflection, and maybe, especially if you're in Australia and New Zealand, it's winter time. And so it's like, I know myself, I hibernate, I go into my cave, I don't go out as much, and it's really time for looking within. So when we're looking within, we can pinpoint what our true heart's desires are, and there will be opportunities to make new starts in these areas. Okay, so the 4th sees Venus joining the Sun in our 10th house of career and reputation. Now, when I'm talking about career here, I'm not talking about normal everyday routine type work. I'm talking about the work that actually gives our lives meaning. It's a vocation. It's what we believe in. And Venus is a really beautiful energy. It gives an appreciation of love, appreciation of art, of beauty, harmony, peace, and it's here in our 10th house. And so you might find that in your work, if you're doing work that you really believe in, with Venus there, people can pick it up. They get the vibe that you're putting out. They're getting that gentleness, that nurturing, that peacemaking feel from you, because as a Libran, peace is really important. We don't like confrontation. We don't like arguing with people. However, that doesn't make us weak, because on the important points we do stand up. We will stand up and speak our minds, and often people get quite shocked because they're not expecting that from us. But, there's lots of things going on in people's charts. It's not just all about your sun sign, of course. So it's always good to read your ascendant and also your moon sign too, because that gives more, depth into horoscopes. So I suggest you check that out if you don't know what your rising sign is and what your moon is. Go and check that out. Get a chart done, and you can find out. Okay, so that's on the 4th. On the 8th to the 1st, Mercury retrograde. Okay, so when I say the 8th of July to the 1st of August, that's when Mercury is going, or it appears to be going backwards proper. Okay, but in reality, how it works is a few days before and a few days after, Mercury is still going, appearing to go backwards. It doesn't literally go backwards, but it appears from the Earth that it does. And that means that it's a few days before the 8th, even up to 5 days, and a few days after the 1st, that you can still be affected by the effects of Mercury retrograde. Okay, and that, my dear Libran friends, is in our 10th house, our vocation, what we're supposed to be doing with our life, our mission on Earth. Okay, it's really super important. It's our mission of our entire life, in fact, why we're here. And it doesn't matter if it's not paid work. Your mission could be raising your children. When I say work, there are work aspects to raising children. And so it doesn't need to be paid work. Okay, let's get that clear. But with Mercury retrograde there could be misunderstandings. There could be delays. There could be confusion. There could be issues with your internet, the technology. There could be issues even with your car. Cars are notorious. I hear all sorts of stories about people's cars deciding during Mercury retrograde that they don't want to start and things like that. Okay, so it is also a time of, it's not all bad news, it's also a time of reevaluation and reassessment of your vocation, there in the 10th house. It's also your status in the community, your reputation, what other people are, how other people perceive you. So you might decide that the vibe that you're putting out is not the real you. So you could change your hair, change your clothes, try to put out a different sort of identity, change your identity in some way, because you've, had this quiet time in July and then just thought, I think I should do something else. Maybe some of you will change your work. If you're not doing work that really makes your heart sing, then it might be time to consider another position. And if you stay in the same company, a position that gives you the sense of meaning in your life and that that you're doing a good job, and you're doing something that's worthwhile. So it doesn't matter if you're, a garbage collector. Are you doing that to the best of your ability? Are you making a difference to other people's lives in a positive sense? And being a garbage collector, you certainly are. And you go out there in the street and you say hello and you're friendly with everyone. There's old people out there that never see anyone and they'll be sitting there all day waiting for you. So it doesn't matter what the job is as long as you do it to the best of your ability and you know that you're doing that. Okay, so 16th is a lunar eclipse in your 4th house, and Pluto and Saturn are already there. So the 4th house is your home and family. Now, because there's so much strength or so much emphasis on your 10th house, which is on one side of your chart, and then the 4th house is on the other, it could be this kind of tussle between your vocation and your home and family. It could be that your home and family want more time because you're spending too much time at work, especially if you work at home. To have that boundary between home and family and work is very difficult. You have to have a dedicated place in your home away from the family in order to be able to put that boundary in. So, you have appropriate family time and you have appropriate work time. Okay, so with a lunar eclipse there in the 4th house, it's not just about your family, it's also about the home. It brings up stuff to be cleared, and some Librans will be renovating their house or changing the decor. Okay, so not only might you change your identity, your hair, your makeup, your clothes, you might change your house as a reflection of what's going on in your spiritual life, because our body, our physical body, is also our house that we keep, where we keep our spirit. So, changes in our spirit can be reflected in the actual physical home. So some of you may make your home larger and renovate and modernise, and others will downsize to reflect what's going on in their spiritual life. Okay, and so there could be stuff come up. So just be cautious. When you're talking to your family members with Pluto and Saturn there, and it can be obstacles and delays, and can also be ancestral issues, karma, things like that coming up as well. Okay, so that's around the 16th, so around the middle of the month. Then the end of the month is absolutely huge, because on the 23rd we have the Sun, 28th we have Venus, and 31st we have the new moon, and they're all going into the 11th house of groups, networking, friends, and hopes and dreams. So the Sun is all about new insights into the people that you associate with. And Venus, again, the peacemaker, the appreciation of beauty, the appreciation of love, and also art, So you could meet new connections that you're really, really, happy to meet these people. The new moon is all about new starts, okay? So the beginnings of a friendship, the beginnings of networking, finding people that are on the same page as you. Yes, so what could happen there is with Venus, because Venus loves love, and she's the goddess of love, basically. And so you could find that a friend becomes more than a friend. It could blossom into a romantic interest, okay? So that will be good news for some of you. Okay, so let's have a look psychically and see what I see for Librans. Okay, so the first thing is the ocean is in front of me, and it's very blue and it's very deep. And if you go down deep into your subconscious, you can find the rewards there. There's buried treasure. I'm going down in the ocean. I can see the whales, I can see the fish, and everybody swimming around in harmony, and treasure chests. So please go down, because in your subconscious there are abilities, hidden abilities and hidden talents that you don't know about yet, that during the month of July you can get the inkling of these things, and you can then develop these things in yourself. And later, if you want to, you could even make money out of them. Okay, so treasure chests are there for the taking for Librans in July. Let's have a look here in the cards, see what card comes up for Libra in July 2019. And let's see what we get. Okay, so I'm drawn to, oh yes, lovely. It's the Fool. The Fool card. Now, okay, it's a bit of a strange name. I know some of you will be thinking, oh, I'm not a fool, I'm not a fool. Of course you're not a fool. It doesn't mean that. But with any new adventure that we go out on, and you see that one's stepping forward, any new adventure, we don't know 110% what we're getting into. But in bravery, and maybe because we're a bit bored with life, we do it anyway. So step out. July is the month for new journeys, and that can be a physical journey or it can be a journey within. But stepping out, and if you don't do it, you'll never find out. You'll never find the treasure in your life if you don't take a risk. That's what this is all about. See that dog holding on to the pants, the leg of the pants there at the back? That little dog, he's kind of barking and carrying on. You'll have people at your heels barking, saying, don't do that. That's a dumb idea. You'll be sorry you did that. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they always say that stuff. Sometimes they're right and sometimes they're not. But if you don't do it, you'll never know. So I say do it, okay? Take the risk. And, you might have to try something 2 or 3 or 4 times to get it right. We don't always get it right the first time. I certainly don't. And I don't think it's a good idea to expect perfection on your first time. Let's just step out and do it. And if we can get it 80% right, then we should be happy, eh? Okay, so don't listen to the little barking dogs trying to hold you back, dear Librans, in the month of July. Step out, make your way in the world, and do something different that your heart wants you to do. Okay, Libra 2019. I'll just have another look. Yes, they're showing me a sword, like pulling the sword from the scabbard. It's like King Arthur's sword, Excalibur. This is the ability to cut through the crap, basically, in your mind, in our minds. That it's the negativity, it's the, the self-denigrating thoughts, the thoughts that put us down, the thoughts that stop us, the fearful thoughts, the anxiety. This is the ability to cut through that and do what we're supposed to do during the month of July. There's so much happening with the eclipses, the new moons, the Mercury retrograde, blah, 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 blah. Really is a time to focus on what's going on within and then later to act on it, okay? I see a little boat here and it's like I'm getting into the boat. It's dark. I don't know where the boat's going to go, but I do trust that the currents will carry me where I need to go, okay? I don't always know everything that's going on, especially when, a psychic is looking at her own life or his own life. It's harder to see. But I get in the boat anyway because it's time to move on. I know that. Okay, thank you for tuning in. Please check me on my other social media, Twitter and Facebook. Please leave a like on this live stream. I'd really appreciate that. Subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. That would be wonderful because I'm always doing new things. So I've got Monday, 8 a.m. Sydney time. Pick a card, pick a number 1 to 5. It's really simple and it's pretty cool if I do say so myself. But in the meantime, I'd love to wish you a very wonderful month, dear Librans, and I shall see you again shortly. Okay, next one is Scorpio. Okay, thank you and bye for now.